and Chris come along as they share our lives with you. We have many adventures. We're always on the go, doing errands, traveling, casinos, and much more. Nothing to stop us now. It's time for another show. The life of Cheryl and Chris. Hit that subscribe button today and come share our lives with us. We have many adventures. We're always on the go, doing errands, traveling, casinos, and much more. Nothing to stop us now. It's time for another show. The life of Cheryl and Chris. Hit that subscribe button today and come share our lives with us. Oh, with us.
Good afternoon. This is Cheryl with the Life of Cheryl and Chris. I'm back on the road today. I'm going up to pick my son up and take him to an appointment. And that's one of my routines that I do. And hopefully it will turn out all right for him. I think it's a checkup on his eyes. I took him a couple of weeks ago and he had the shots in his eyes. And now he has to go back and see how he's doing. So I'll take you along with me and I'll come on and talk a little later. I'm just leaving out of my driveway now. So I'm going to get back with you in a little while. Okay?
Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Ooh, 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 stop. Ooh, girl. Ain't no diary, girl. It's a dialogue. Let it out. And you can know the sitcoms from the 90s. Ain't no stepper. More like the on the way you put it on the line. Ooh, shoot, I know you feel it, girl. Cause I know in Iowa, I'm sure they be saying, I'm sure we be jive talking. Cause you get the best of us spark, the best of Cheryl spark. Ooh, hyperdrive. We learn something new every day. We learn something new every day. This is just a Cheryl talk, baby. I said, this ain't no Cheryl diary, baby. Cause y'all getting funky, I know you're about to start jiving. Ooh, baby, up, I got a jimmer. I know you might see there's a surprise in every single corner. Surprise. There's something out there constantly. It's the Cheryl Talk Show, baby. Oh, get it, baby. Get it in, let's jump, get it in. We need a promise. Bring it back, Aria. This is the Cheryl Talk Show. Cheryl Talk. Blood on the audio.
Okay, this is Cheryl. I'm back. I had to put on my shades because it is so bright out here. And we went through last week. We were in a little cold snap. It was 17 degrees one night.
That's cold, baby.
12 degrees at night.
What did you just say?
You know, it's hard to believe just a week we're back into the sunlight. And I think the winter is gone now. Let me get on this highway. These people will not pull over. I got my blinker on. Anyhow, today is such a beautiful day outside. My thermometer in the car here is saying that it's 77 degrees. So it is really nice outside. I'll let you see how the road is. You see, it's light outside. Anyhow, I'm on my way, like I said earlier. I'm on my way to pick my son up and take him to one of his doctor's appointments. over out of town where he lives. It's about maybe 45 miles from where he lives, and he lives about 30 miles from where I live. So I'm going on that little trip that I usually take, and take him to his appointments. That's the least I can do for him. I can't do everything for him, but while he's having this trouble with his eyes, I can at least drive him to his appointments. And he always says thank you. He's very, very grateful for me coming, picking him up, and taking him. So that's good. And I still pray for him. And I ask you all that's watching to pray for my son, that his eyes will receive a blessing from God. Because, he said himself that he knows he's probably going to lose his sight. But like I told him, you never know what's going to happen, because God is the one that's in control. So you keep believing and just keep praying. I told him to pray about it, and I pray about it all the time for him. And I'm just asking some of the care bearers out there who are listening and have a caring heart and a caring spirit that uses the power of prayer to pray for my son. Pray that his eyes will maintain or even get better than they are now. Dear Lord, I pray for that for him. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to pick him up because of he has an appointment today. And I know a lot of times when I pick William up, we'll go to the grocery store and stuff like that. I don't know if he's wanting to go to the grocery store today. This is like the end of the month, and I don't know if he's gotten paid yet. So once he gets paid, he usually asks me, will I take him by the grocery store and let him pick up some stuff? But we'll see. So far, I'm just going to take him to an appointment. And his appointment is a little later than what he usually goes to, because he usually have around about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock appointments, but he couldn't get in any earlier. I think his appointment's at 3 o'clock today. So I hadn't spoke to him today, but I did text him. I called him and left him a message. And these younger people, they will listen to the message and then they'll text you back. So he had texted me back. I asked him what time was his appointment. Was that the time of his appointment? And he just texted back, yes. So I said, okay, well, I'll be up there at a certain time. And he didn't text me back, but I'm sure he knows I'll be up there at a certain time. Because I always come about, give myself an hour once I get to his apartment to get to his appointment.
I will make the time. Trust me.
Like I say, it's about 40 minutes from where he lives, so I give myself a little time to get there so he can get in and be on time and everything. So hopefully it'll all work out right for us. So, and I just pray that this traffic, I try to be very cautious and watch what's going on, because when you're driving on the highway, you don't only drive for yourself, you have to drive for other people too.
Crazy people.
Because sometimes it looks like now people have got so anxious about everything.
Alright, some people are just rude.
They don't have any time to wait on anything. They're just, they'll run you off the road just because you're going the speed limit. You may be going 75, they want to go 85 or 90, and they'll run you off the road. So you just have to drive for yourself and for the people around you. That's all I know, because, you want to be safe and you want to survive. You don't want to go on a trip and never make it back to where you left from. So every time I just pray that the Lord will give me the grace and the wisdom to do the things I need to do while I'm driving.
Ridiculous, isn't it, the way people act?
And, not getting upset and having no kind of road rage, because it's not worth it. People get killed for stupid stuff like that. And I don't intend to be a statistic on that. So I just pray that all is well. I'll make it up there safely to pick him up and drop him off and make it back home safely. So that's what I pray. But anyhow, it's funny, Chris and I were just talking about it yesterday when we were saying, now he drove me to my appointment yesterday because I had an appointment over here at the same place that I'm taking, same little town that I'm taking. Well, it's not really a little town. It's one of the bigger cities in the area where we live, and that's where the big hospital is, so that's where I'm taking him. But Chris had taken me yesterday over there for, I have to go for a 6 months checkup with one of my doctors that I go to. So he had driven me over there yesterday, and we was coming back home. We were talking about the traffic and stuff, and when we were going, we were talking about it too. We were just talking about how people can cause accidents because somebody just passed him so fast, and trying to get around. Like they really had to get somewhere, and it was like on a little country road. The road I'm on now is really a state highway. The road that we were on yesterday, it was a state highway too, but it's just a smaller state highway, just 2 lanes, one going this way, one going back the other way. So the people, they have no time to wait. And we were just talking about the traffic. And I was telling Chris, and I said, Lord bless me, I had never had an accident, except when I first got my license, when I was 18, I guess. I had my license for about a week or so, and I was driving. I had gone to the store or gone somewhere, and I was coming back home, and a lady just, cut me off and hit me the front of my car or did something. It was a young girl too, and one thing about her, I had just gotten my license, and she didn't even have any license, and her mother had called and told my mother that my mother would have to pay for her car. My mother said, oh, no, that's not right. My daughter had her license. Your daughter did not have her license, and your daughter is the one that ran into her. She said, I'm not paying anything for your car. If you want to take it to court, we can take it to court. My mother was so laid back and easygoing, but when it came to her kids, she would raise up and she'll tell them, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna mistreat my child or anything like that, because I know my daughter was driving, and I don't really have that much damage to my car. So I'm not gonna even file it with my insurance. And you should file it with yours because you were the one that hit me. And that's what happened. And it was just, funny. And I would see that young lady all the time. I think I was about 18. She must have been about 16 or so she was driving. But she didn't have any license and stuff like that. And that's about the only incident I had. And I had one other incident when I was working. And I had was getting ready to go home. And I had gone up to our stop sign, and I was stopped because the car was coming, and the girl just came up behind me. She didn't really run into me so hard because it didn't do any trouble to my car either. It kind of messed a little bit of the bumper up where you could see something, and her insurance, she filed it on her insurance. She was, I think she was driving her mother's car, but she was a grown woman. She wasn't a teenager or anything like that. She was one of my sister's classmates. My sister that passed away, and she was one of her classmates. So she was a grown woman, and she had filed it with her mother's insurance, and the insurance just so happened we had the same insurance. So what happened, they just sent me a check for the damages and stuff like that. I don't think I ever even got it fixed because it wasn't that much, it didn't really detract that much from the car or anything like that. So I didn't even worry about trying to get it fixed. There goes somebody speeding right there. You're going on up there. We're in this little small town, and wouldn't it happen that the man who's always out here catching everybody else's speed, he won't be out here? Because this seems like how it is. Whenever somebody else is speeding, you don't see the cops outside, and they should be. And then you may, not that I speed. Oh, he is up here though somewhere. He's up here. I see him up here. He can stop somebody else up the road. So he was here. So, but he won't catch that guy because he's already dealing with somebody else. And we're coming up on the sign, stop sign, and the guy has slowed down anyhow. He got off pretty good. Here the man is pulling out in front of me now, it look like. He is. He's pulling out in front of me on the side. He had stopped the big FedEx truck. And now he's going on about his business. I guess he's going to try to catch somebody else. He won't catch me. Because I'm not going to speed. I know this little town. I know this little town is a little speed trap. That's how they make their revenue. By stopping people and trying to give tickets. It's kind of like our little town too. Our little town have people sitting out there all the time too, trying to catch people on the state highway. You know, they're speeding, driving a little bit over the speed limit and stuff like that. So I guess that's what a lot of small towns do. They're always trying to catch somebody doing something in the wrong. But you're not supposed to do it. If the speed limit says one limit, I guess that's what you're supposed to drive. I'm in this little area, it says 65, and that's what I drive. 65 is fast enough for me. You know, when I drive the speed limit, that's the thing, you know. If it says 65, I drive 65. On this highway that we're going to, it's an interstate, and they say you can drive 75. A lot of time I don't drive 75. I drive 70 on there because it's people on there, they driving so fast, and you know, I try to stay in the center roadway so I can, you know, if I need to pass, I can pass. If somebody want to go around, they can go around and stuff like that. But you all know what driving is all about and stuff like that. But I'm just glad that, thank the Lord, I can still drive and be mobile enough to get out and drive myself and drive my son to his appointment. Because I know one day it'll come that, you know, I'll have to do just like my mother. When my mother was, I can't remember how old my mother was. Now my mother was 81 when she passed away. And I think she was sick with the dementia and stuff for about, seems like it's about five years. Nah, let me see. She was sick already about 3 years before I retired from my job. And I retired from my job in 2014. So she about 4 years. Maybe she wasn't just so very, very bad, but we was sensing that she was getting some dementia. So I'll say that was about 3 years before I retired. So it must have been in 2000 and maybe 2011. And maybe it probably was before that. It may be in 2009, because I think my son had, now William that I'm going to pick up, he had gone to college and he had come back home. And my mother was still living by herself. And my mother would have incidents where she would get out the house and go. She used to walk. When she first retired, she would walk her whole street, up and down the street for exercise. She'd get up in the morning and walk, and then, you know, sometimes she'd walk in the afternoon or in the evening once it got cool, because she was just doing this for her exercise. And she ended up losing weight just doing it too. But anyhow, my mother was living by herself. So it must have been 2009. And my son was living, he was back at home. He had gone to college for a year and stuff, and then he had come back home. So he was about 19, I guess. And like I said, my mother would get out and she'd be walking, and sometimes she'd forget where she was going or whatever. And I know I had some ladies that I knew from there in my hometown. They would call me at my office, because I was still working then. They would call me at the office and said, Miss William, I saw your mother walking, and I had directed her back to her house and stuff. I hope she's all right. I said, oh, okay. Then I had to get off and go and check on my mom and stuff like that. And then what we did try to do, we put like a little flap on the door when she was in there by herself. hard for us, you know, because then we would have to have her make sure you got that flap off, but she couldn't open that up. But you know, we would just try to do stuff to make her safe. But what we ended up doing, my son, that William, that I'm going to pick up today, we ended up having him go. He moved from over to the house with me, and he moved over there and he stayed with my mother, and that was really a help for us. And we gave him a little stipend to just, you know, because he was staying over there with her all the time and stuff like that. And he would be over there with her. He would, you know, just so she wasn't there by herself. Sometimes he'd cook a little something for her, because at that time she was still cooking and she was still able to do stuff. And he was just telling me one time when we were talking in the car how when he was over there with my mother, she would really enjoy him playing on his video games. He would be playing some video games, and my mother would be saying, "Tell me what you're doing on those games. What are you trying to accomplish?" And he said it was so funny because one game he was playing, I think it was like auto theft or some kind of theft game or something like that. All I know, it was about a car. And he said, Mom would say, "You're not driving right. You're not driving good. You're to tow up all those cars. You're not supposed to be hitting. And you hit somebody walking across the street." And she would be telling him all this stuff. And he was saying it was a lot of fun. And then one time he was playing some game. He used to play, I think it was called The Sims or something like that. And, you know, he would decorate the houses and do different things like that. And my mother would tell him, "Oh, okay, that's what you're going to do. You're going to put a lamp there. I think you ought to put a table over on the other side." You know, different stuff. He was just saying it was so much fun being there with Mom and him playing those games and stuff. And he really did enjoy it and stuff like that. And he stayed there with my mother for a while. And then I was still working. And like I said, I retired in 2014. So I think before then, my sister, and she's also passed away, Roslyn had moved over there with my mom. She had moved out of her house, and she was spending a lot of time over there with my mother. So she just stayed over there with my mother. So my mother wasn't alone. And because William had, I think he moved to Oklahoma City, or he did something. Anyhow, my sister moved there with my mother. So then, you know, I was still working, and but my sister had cancer also, and so a lot of stuff. She could be there with my mother, but at that time she was taking my mother places she needed to go and stuff like that whenever she was feeling good. And my sister, she was still working also. So then eventually she stopped working because, you know, like I said, she had cancer, and she was getting to the point that she wasn't feeling good a lot and stuff like that. And even before she was passed away, she was getting ready to retire and just be there at home with my mom and stuff. And just so happened, my sister got sick. She had an infection she had a port, and I had retired then, and I retired in 2014. So I had a whole year there at home, just being with my sister and my mom, because both of them were living at the home with mom. Both of them lived together. She moved over there and lived in the house where my mother was living. So I would be there. I would go over there in the morning, check on them, spend most of the day over there with them, talking and, you know, dealing with my mother. And my mother at the time, she was still able to walk around and do stuff. But then eventually it got to the point where my mother couldn't even get up out the bed. She couldn't walk around and stuff. And we saw that it was happening because, you know, we would try to help her get up out the chair sometime. And it would take a long time for her to get up. And me and Chris had met then, because I met Chris in 2011. So he would be coming over to visit me, and he would come to visit me at my mother's house a lot of time, because like I said, I would be over at my mother's house a lot. I spent a lot of time over there with her and with Roslyn, and he would come, And at that time, he was coming one day a week. He would come and visit me and spend a lot of time there with me. So I would always be fixing dinner for my mother. And she loves spaghetti also. So I would fix her spaghetti, and then Chris would come eat spaghetti with us. And he, you know, at that time he was trying to be modest. Oh no, that's enough. I'm good. I don't, you know, try to act like he didn't want any more. But now since we got married, he said, oh, you know, at that time when I used to come and be having dinner with you and your mom and your sister, that stuff would be so good. I'd be telling you, no, I don't want no more. That's fine. I'm full. I'm fine. He said, I would be saying, you know, good damn well, you want more spaghetti. But he would, you know how people, when you first start dating them, and even though you know them, they still try to be a little modest sometimes and stuff like that. And so that's what he was doing. And so anyhow, because I remember the first time that I invited him to my house, I had fixed some kind of, I think, some kind of vegetable soup or stew or something.
Shit, that was good!
That I used to make, you know, with stew meat in it, potatoes and all kind of vegetables and stuff.
Can't you make some more?
And it was probably in the coldest part of the year, because I think I met Chris in October. So yeah, it was like November or December or maybe in January. Somebody had invited him to come over. Me and my son were there and we were eating, and I had made some kind of beef stew, and I told him, and I gave him some. You know, he said, oh, this is good, it's good. I tried to get him to take some home with him, but he said, oh, no, that's fine. I don't have to do that. I'm just fine. It did later on, he talked about, oh, I want to take some more of that stew, but I ain't want to take all your stew. I said, leave you some so you could have some for the next day and stuff.
Woman can cook. Oh, I'm sure she can.
And I said, yeah, okay. But anyhow, getting back to my mom, I retired from my job in 2015, in August of 2014, August of 2014. And so I spent most of my days, you know, there with my mom and my sister. Sometimes I would have to take my sister to different appointments and stuff, and my mother went with us too. At the time, she could still walk around and stuff, and we even got to the point where we had gotten a wheelchair for her that we could roll her, and she could still stand up and get in the car and go places with us, and we just put the wheelchair in the back. But like I say, eventually it got to the point where my mother was bedridden, and we had gotten some home health care nurses to come help us with her, because I was mostly there by myself, and then my sister that had moved out of town, she had moved back, and she stayed with my mother for a while, and until she moved to her location where she is. She had bought her house and stuff. Her husband was still working out of town, so she was like in transition, trying to move back home. And so she had moved back, and she would be staying there with my mom. So we all three of us that were there, we took care of my mom, and we did what we could to make her feel comfortable and safe and stuff like that. And it worked out fine for us. But in 2015, then my sister Rosalind, she had gotten sick around about March, and we didn't know at the time, but she just thought it was dealing with her cancer. She just thought she was sick because of that. But unbeknownst to us, she had got an infection in her port, and I know she wasn't feeling good, because we had gone to a wedding and she wasn't feeling good. Then we ended up going to me and my sister used to go to a book club. We had a book club that we would go to together, and we had gone to that. She was hosting the book club, and she just wasn't feeling good. She had gone to the back, and she was hosted it at my sister's house, Vanessa's house, and she wasn't feeling too good then.
And now my sister can rest in peace.
And after that, we had gone home, and you know, when we went home, she said she was okay, but she wasn't okay, I don't think. She had gone back up there, and she was going to spend a week up there with Vanessa for just to get away a little bit and be up there and spend some time with her. And she had gotten sick, and she had gone to the hospital, and come to find out she had the infection, and it was a staph infection. And then, you know, with her not knowing, you know, she just thinking she was sick from the cancer, you know, she just didn't know. And what happened after that, we just ended up, she was in the hospital, and she ended up getting sick, and she ended up being on hospice for like 10 days, I think. And she passed away in April of, oh, this place is full. She passed away in April of 2015. And like I said, I retired in 2014. And I'm at the gas station now, and it looks like it's crowded. But hopefully I'll have time. Oh, the girl is getting out now. She looks like she's getting out. Maybe she's almost through. But like I said, she passed away in April the 12th of 2015. And just so happened April the 12th is my youngest sister's birthday. And my youngest sister said she had spent a lot of time up at the hospital with my sister, and she said, she was talking to my sister, and she said, just, I hope you just hold on to my birthday, Rosalind. And I think a little bit after midnight of her birthday, my sister did pass away. And we had just been up there, and we all turned around and went back up there and, you know, said our goodbyes, and just stayed there with her until the people, you know, the funeral director, whoever came to retrieve her body. And my mother was at home. We had a lady, the home health care nurse, that was staying at home with my mother. And so at that time, my mother, we tried to tell her what had happened with Rosa, but I think she knew, because my sister said, she said, yeah, I saw Rosa. Rosa came talking to me, and that was really strange to us. That she said Rosa had come talking to her, and so we said my mother knew what had happened. And I'm gonna get out and get my gas, but like I was saying, she passed away in April of that year. And later on that same year, May, 6 weeks later, my mother passed away. And it was hard. It really was, because it was just really hard. I have to tell you a little bit more about it, but I'll finish up right now, right here, because I'm gonna get out and get me some gas, and I don't want people to be waiting for me to get the gas and stuff. So I'll talk to you a little later. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I guess you said it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick, because I wasn't empty or anything like that.
Turn the full tank of gas, check.
I just always like to top up my gas whenever I come up here to Waco, because I have, like I told you before, I use Valero gas, and it's a station.
Valero, Texas open.
Gas station nachos.
Woo! Gas station poop!
Right on the way to picking William up, and I just topped it off there, and I only needed $8 worth.
Cheap.
That's all it took, was $8. So I hadn't really driven that much at all since last time I was up here to take William. I had just driven at home, right around in my hometown. So anyhow, I was telling you about my mother, my sister, they passed away 6 weeks in between each other. My sister passed away April the 12th, 2015. Then my mother passed away May the 29th, 2015. But by that time, my older sister, she had moved back there, and my other sister was back there. So I had 2 sisters still in my vicinity, and my youngest sister was in Ohio, and she's still in Ohio. And so, anyhow, this was just a little time just talking about myself. Like I'll be telling you, just telling you a little about who I am as a person and who I am when I'm by myself. Just talking to you all. And I really enjoy talking to you all and letting you know parts of my life, what has gone on with me and my life. And, you know, how I got to the point I am now. It's a long life because this thing in a couple of, I think next year will be 50 years that I've been out of high school. So, and that's hard to believe. Hello, this is Cheryl with the Life of Cheryl and Chris. I made it back home. I'm right here in my driveway where I first started off. And I just want to let you know I made it back home, and my son got to do his office visit, and it turned out pretty good. He said his eyes are doing somewhat better, but he's still being doubtful that, you know, he'll keep having his eyes be all right. But like I had said earlier, just keep praying for him, because prayer changes things. Like I tell him, I say, even though you may feel like that, that doesn't mean that's how it's going to be, because God is in control of what happens. So I just want to let you know we made it. I made it over there. We were talking here in the car and stuff. I just didn't turn the video on. We're just talking about little stuff that he's been going through, and some movies, or some he was telling me about some old movie, but I didn't know what movie he was talking about. But we made it there safely. Now I've made it back home safely. I dropped William off safely, and I'm going to go in the house and see what Chris and Ty are doing. And remember, we are the carers, and caring is sharing, and we're sharing our lives with you. Have a great day or night whenever it is that you're watching it. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please like, comment, and subscribe, just so we can see that you are liking the content and you're liking the Cheryl Talks and different things. See you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Care Bears, you gotta help me. I'm trapped in prison. I'm trapped here behind bars, and my inmate is a crazy hairy weenie. I got a crazy inmate, guys. Guys, if you want to help me and get the key, just subscribe. It's only free. Like, comment, and subscribe today, Care Bears, to get me out of prison. Now hurry. Hurry. My hairy inmate, she's crazy.
Even though this episode comes to a close, we have many more to explore. Just hit that subscribe button. We are the Life of Cheryl and Chris. We gon' share our lives with you. Don't forget to drop a like and a comment, would be very nice too. We are the Life of Cheryl and Chris. We gon' share our lives with you. From showdowns to casinos and even across the country too. We are the Life of Cheryl and Chris, taking you places, showing you around. Come hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe so we can see you around. We appreciate you and glad you are part of the family. We are the Life of Cheryl and Chris. You never know what we going to next. Come along and join the fun and be a part of our journey. we're sharing, and we're sharing our lives with you. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. Hit that subscribe button today. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. We gon' share our lives with you. From short areas to casinos and even across the country too. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris, taking you places, showing you around. Oh, hit that like button, please hit that subscribe so we can see you around. We appreciate you and glad you are part of the family. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. You never know what we're gonna do next. Come along and join the fun and be a part of our journey too. We are the cares and caring and sharing, and we're sharing our lives with you. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are the life of Cheryl and Chris. Yeah, yeah.